Hi everybody, Richard Uzelac here. For the past 2 years or so, maybe 2.5 years, my wife and I have been reading a book every morning called The Daily Stoic by Holliday. And I received this book from David Kekich, my dear cousin, who's a brother to me, who passed away almost a year ago to today. On Friday will be the 1 year anniversary of his passing. And he was a great man, and he studied Stoicism. I first learned of Stoicism when my older brother Steve used to call me a Stoic when I was like 12 or 10, because I was always serious about everything. And I always thought it was an insult. Not so much, but just a little bit of a put down, like I had no feeling. And that's a lot of people feel that way about Stoicism. It's actually kind of the opposite. Stoicism trains you to be prepared for all things in life, and to also work on your faults. And everyone has faults. Some of my faults are I get a little bit ahead of myself and react a little bit strongly at times to things. So it's helped me to, at times, because this week I kind of failed at that once already. But in general, I'm a lot more mellow about reacting to things. So the Daily Stoic calls upon several main Stoics: Seneca, Roman senator; Epictetus, a Roman slave that became a wonderful Stoic philosopher; and the great Marcus Aurelius, emperor of all of Rome, and a practicing Stoic. And I'd like to read something from Marcus Aurelius. This was for March 12th. The book is 365 pages. Every morning, the idea is you read a page, you discuss it with someone you love or care about, and it helps you grow. The first year we did it, I gotta say, we got some things wrong. We enjoyed it, we kept going. But the second year, rereading everything was really powerful for us. It still is. Obviously, we're not perfect, at least me. My wife might be, could possibly be perfect, but I'm certainly not. But it's really helped me to kind of level myself out, and give me time, give me the power to pause before reacting, and it's really helped me quite a bit. So I'd like to read one chapter here for you. The first one is this is from March 12th of this year, and it's from Marcus Aurelius from his book Meditations, which I also have read. It's difficult to read. It's translated from old Roman language, and it's a little bit difficult, but practice it, you can get through it. Okay, seeing things as the person at fault does. Marcus. Whenever someone has done wrong by you, immediately consider what notion of good or evil they had in doing it. For when you see that, you'll feel compassion instead of astonishment or rage. For you may yourself have the same notions of good and evil, or similar ones, in which case you'll make an allowance for what they've done. If you no longer hold the same notions, you'll be more readily gracious for their error. That was Marcus Aurelius Meditations 7.26. And then Holliday, who is the editor of this edition, writes, Socrates, perhaps the wisest person ever to live, used to say that nobody does wrong willingly. That's a great, powerful sentence. Nobody does wrong willingly. Everybody has an excuse. Everybody thinks, well, because of this or that, I can do it. I know I'm like that. I always have an excuse. And often there isn't an excuse. So anyway, so they don't, nobody does wrong willingly, meaning that no one is wrong on purpose either. Nobody thinks they're wrong, even when they are wrong. They think they're right, they're just mistaken. Otherwise, you wouldn't think it anymore. Could it be that the slights you've experienced or the harm that others have done to you is not inflicted intentionally? What if they simply thought you were doing the right thing for them, even for you? It's like the memorial for Confederate soldiers at Arlington, obviously a cause that was wrongly fought for by people possibly doing some wrong things. which states in part that the Confederate soldiers served in simple obedience to duty as they understood it. Again, they understood wrongly, but it was their genuine understanding, just as Lincoln was genuine when he ended his famous Cooper Union speech by saying, "Let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it." How much more tolerant and understanding would you be today if you could see the actions of other people as attempts to do the right thing? Whether you agree or not, how radically would this lens change your perspective on otherwise offensive or belligerent attitudes and actions? I thought this was a pretty apropos one for this week for myself, with things I'm dealing with. But consider getting the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holliday, taking a look at it online, read a few. They're wonderful. That's Marcus Aurelius. Epictetus is very clear. I mean, he was a slave, he was beaten by his master, and he studied philosophy regardless of the situation. Seneca, another famous Stoic, was the richest man in Rome. And yet he said the things that he had didn't mean that much to them. He was glad to have them, but if they're all taken away, including his money, his estates, his wife, his children, that he would survive. And that's a bottom line thing with Stoicism, is learning to deal with anything that comes your way and somehow getting through it without being devastated. I know I'm doing a very great disservice to all Stoics and this book. They're all wonderful. Maybe give it a shot. I'm glad I could share this with you, and have a great day. Thank you.